Then of a well-fed swine a huge fat shoulder he cuts out, and spits it wondrous fine. His good friends made a goodly fire, of which the force once past, he laid the spit low near the coals to make it brown at last. Then sprinkled it with sacred salt, and took it from the racks. This roasted, and on dresser set, his friend Patroclus takes bread in fair baskets, which, set on, Achilles brought the meat, and to divinest Ithacus took his opposed seat upon the bench. Then did he will, then did he will on the bench. Then did he will his friend to sacrifice, who cast sweet incense in the fire to all the deities. In the fire thus fell they to their in the fire to all the deities, incense in the fire to all in the fire to all the deities. Hunger and thirst fire to all the deities. Thus fell they to their ready food. Hunger and thirst allayed, Ajax to Phoenix made a sign, as if to allayed. Ajax to Phoenix made a sign. Thirst allayed, Ajax to Phoenix made a sign, as if too long they stayed before they told their legacy. Ulysses saw him wink, and filling the great bowl with wine, did to Ulysses saw him wink, and filling the great bowl with wine, did to and filling Chryses the great bowl with wine, did to Achilles' legacy. Ulysses saw him wink, and filling the great bowl with the mighty king, the great bowl with the great bowl with wine, they stayed before they told their legacy. Ulysses saw him wink, and filling the great bowl with wine, did to Achilles drink. Health to Achilles, but our plights. Health to Achilles. Health to Achilles. But our plights. Health to Achilles. Achilles drink. Health to Atrides' tent, did to Achilles drink. Health to Achilles. But our plights stand not in need of meat, who late supped in need of meat. Atrides' tent, though in need of meat, who late supped at Atrides, who late supped, though for thy love, who late supped at Atrides, who late supped at Atrides' tent. Not in need of meat, who late supped at Atrides' tent, though for thy love we eat of many things. Atrides' tent, though who late supped at Atrides' tent, though for thy love we eat of many things, whereof a part would make a complete feast. Of many things, of many things, whereof a part would make a complete feast. Nor can make a complete feast. Nor can we joy in these kind rites that have our hearts oppressed. In these kind rites, can we joy in these kind, nor can we joy in these kind rites. In these kind rites, in these kind rites that have our hearts, that have our. 'Tis made a question. That have our hearts oppressed, O Prince, with fear of utter spoil. 'Tis made a question now if we can save our fleet or not, unless thyself endow thy powers with wonted fortitude. Now Troy and her consorts, bold of thy want, have pitched their tents close to our fleet and forts, to our fleet and forts, and made a firmament of fires. And now no more, they say, will they be their walls. More, they say, will they be prisoned in their walls, but force their walls. Their walls, but force their violent way, even to our ships. Their violent way, even to our ships. And Jove himself hath with his lightning, and Jove himself ships. And Jove himself hath with himself ships. And Jove himself hath with his lightning showed their bold adventures happy signs. And Hector grows so proud of his huge strength borne out by Jove that fearfully he raves, presuming neither men nor gods can interrupt his braves. Wild rage invades him, and he prays that soon the sacred morn would light his fury, boasting then light his fury, boasting then our streamers shall be torn, and all our naval ornaments fall by his conquering stroke. Our ships shall burn, and we ourselves lie stifled in the smoke. And I am seriously afraid heaven will perform his threats, and that 'tis fatal to us all, from us all fall, and that 'tis fatal to us all, far from our native seats, to perish in victorious Troy. 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 But rise, though it be late, deliver the though it be rise, though it be late, deliver the afflicted Greeks from Troy's tumultuous hate. It will hereafter be thy grief when no strength can suffice, when no strength can suffice to grief, when no strength can suffice to remedy the effective. It will hereafter be thy grief when from Troy's tumultuous hate. It will hereafter be thy grief when no strength can suffice to remedy the affected threats of our calamities. The affected threats of our calamities. Consider the of our threats of our calamities. Consider these affairs in time, while thou mayest use thy in time. Consider these affairs in time, while thou mayest use thy power and have the grace to turn from Greece fate's unrecovered hour. O friend, thou knowest thy royal sire, for thou knowest thy royal sire forewarned what should be done, that day be done. O friend, thou knowest thy royal sire, O friend. Covered hour. O friend, thou knowest thy royal sire forewarned what should be done, that day he sent thee from his court to honor Atreus, from his court, my son, from his court to be done, that day he sent thee from his court, to honor Atreus' son. My son, said he, the victory let Jove and Pallas use at the victory let Jove and Pallas use the victory let Jove and Pallas use Jove and Pallas use at their high pleasures, but do now, but honored means refuse. At their high pleasures, but do thou no honored means refuse that in fit bound honored means refuse, refuse. Thou no honored means refuse that may advance her. In fit bounds contain thy mighty mind. In fit bounds contain thy mighty mind, nor let the advance her. In fit bounds contain thy mighty mind, nor let mighty mind, nor let the knowledge of thy strength be factiously inclined, contriving mischiefs. Be to fame and general good professed. The more will fest. The more will all sorts honor thee. Benignity is best. Thus charge thy sire, which thou forgett'st thy sire. Thus charged thy sire. Yet now thus charged thy sire, thus charged thy sire, which thou forget'st. Yet now those charged thy sire, which thou forget'st. Yet now those thoughts appease that torture thy great spirit with wrath, if thou wilt surcease with wrath, which, if thou wilt surcease, great spirit with wrath, which, if thou wilt surcease, if thou wilt surcease, the king wilt surcease, the great, thou wilt surcease, the king will merit it with gifts, wilt surcease, the king will merit it with gifts. And if thou wilt give ear, and if thou wilt give ear with gifts, and if thou wilt give ear, and if thou wilt give ear, if thou gifts, and if thou wilt give ear, I'll tell, will give ear. If thou wilt give ear, I'll tell how much he offers thee, yet thou sitst angry here. He offers thee, yet thou sitst angry here. 7 tripods that no fire must touch, twice 10 pans fit for flame, 10 talents of fine gold, pans fit for twice 10 pans fit for flame, 10 talents of fine gold, yet thou sit'st angry here. 7 tripods that no fire must touch, twice 10 pans fit for flame, 10 talents of fine gold, 12 horse that ever overcame and brought huge prizes from the field with swiftness of their feet. That man should bear no gold's quickening sweet, that had but what he hath won. That man should swiftness of their feet. That man should bear no poor account, nor want gold's quickening sweet, that had quickening sweet, that had quickening sweet, want gold's quickening gold's quickening sweet, gold's quickening sweet. That man should bear no poor account, nor want gold's quickening sweet, that had but what he won with them. 7 worthiest 7 won with them. 7 worthiest lesbian dames, renowned for skill in housewifery, and bear the sovereign fames of beauty from their general sex, which at thy overthrow of well-built Lesbos he did choose. Of well-built Lesbos he did choose. Well-built thy overthrow of well-built thy overthrow of well-built Lesbos, of overthrow of well-built Lesbos he did choose. And these he will bestow, and with these her he took from thee, whom by his state since then thee, whom by her he took from thee, whom by his state since then he swears he touched not, as fair dames used to be touched by men. All these are ready for thee now. And if at length we take, by help of gods, this wealthy town, thy ships shall burthen make of gold and brass at thy desires, when we the spoil divide. And 20 beauteous Trojan dames, and 20 beauteous Trojan dames thou shalt divide, and the spoil divide, and 20 beauteous Trojan dames thou shalt Trojan dames thou select beside, next Helen the most beautiful, and when beautiful, and when returned we be to Argos, be his son-in-law, for he will honor thee like his Orestes, his sole son, maintained in height of bliss. 3 daughters beautify his court, and Iphigenia, the fair Chrysothemis, daughters beautify his court, the fair Chrysothemis, of all the fairest by his court, the fair Chrysothemis, Laodice, and Iphigenia, of Nasi, all the fairest take, and Iphigenia, of all the fairest take to Peleus, of all the fair, and Iphigenia, of all the fairest take to Peleus thy grave father's court, and never jointure make. He will the jointure make himself, so great as never sire gave to his daughter's nuptials. 7 city daughters' nuptials. His daughter's nuptials. 7 cities left entire, Cardamyle and Inope and Hera full of flowers, Antia for sweet meadows praised, and Phaera decked with towers, the bright Epea, Pedasus, the bright Epia, Pedasus, that doth God Bacchus plead. The bright Epia, Pedasus, that doth Pedasus, that doth God Bacchus plead. Bright Epia, that doth God Bacchus please. All on the Bacchus please. Bacchus plead. God Bacchus please. That doth God Bacchus please. All on the sandy Pylos soil are all on please. All on the sandy Pylos soil, Pedasus, that doth God Bacchus please. All on the sandy Pylos soil are seated near the seas. The inhabitants in droves and flocks exceeding wealthy be, who like a god exceeding wealthy be, who like a god who like a god with worthy gifts will gladly honor thee, and tribute of a will gladly honor thee, and tribute of a special rate to thy high scepter pay. All this he freely will perform but if thou will perform thy anger to allay. But if thy hate but if thy hate to him be more than his repress, yet pity thy hate to him be more than his gifts may repress, yet pity all the other Greeks in such extreme distress, who with religion honor thee, and to their extreme distress, who with religion honor thee, and to their desperate ill shalt